Tonight on the show, I'm going to talk like Sam Elliott.
Oh. Does that really make you mad?
I have the thing.
You got a filter for me? Do you? I've wondered about this for a long time.
It's a thing where people pop their chewing gum.
Yeah.
Or people pop or tap.
I can't
or
stand
whatever.
it.
It's the noises, and slurping's one of the things. Like, I about put Cameron up for adoption this morning. Because he's sitting there with his spoon. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Eat your cereal.
Oh, I want to
eat the cereal.
My uncle was a clown for Ringling Brothers Circus, and when he died, all his friends went to the funeral in one car.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. If you had a rotary phone, you'll love this podcast. Please welcome your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode, and I am on antibiotics.
You got all sicky.
Oh, man. Yeah. On Friday, I woke up with a sore throat. Mm-hmm. Saturday, it was scratchy and started to get a little bit sore.
Yeah.
The soreness went away, and then the cough came along, and I'm going to Chicago in a week, and I can't be sick. So I went to we have a doctor.
I was going to say medicine man.
I went to the medicine man, and got tested, and I have strep throat.
Yeah.
So for the first 24 hours, I'm contagious.
Okay.
I'm not contagious now.
Not contagious now.
I'm on the freaking horse pill antibiotics.
Oh, yeah.
These giant pink pills the size of your shoe.
You know.
But they're draining my brain. And
I love antibiotics.
Well, I love what they do.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, but they drain me. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've ran 20 miles.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why I sound so sexy.
You sound sultry.
Oh, man. Coors.
You had a graduation party.
I did. Jacob graduated high school, and at graduation, there was an irritable dad syndrome moment. I'll tell you about that here tonight on the show.
I am excited because you sent me a note that says you've finally seen Dungeons and Dragons. I do want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons later. Yeah. I haven't been able to get the family together to watch it here because Charlie's saying, well, I've already seen it. I'm like, but we need to see it again.
Right.
Andrew keeps pointing out times when we could watch it, but it's always times when we can't watch it.
Right.
So we haven't been able to sit down and go for it.
I'll watch it again because, Libby fell asleep.
Okay.
Libby was the one who wanted to watch it.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to watch it too, but she's like, hey, kids, it's on the Paramount. Let's watch it. And the kids weren't really...
They weren't into it?
Yeah, Cameron came down, brought his Switch. Like, I'll be, And then as soon as it starts, he's glued. And I kept dozing off in the middle, not because the movie was boring, because I'm 52 years old and I fall asleep during movies.
I get it.
And also I'm sick.
Yeah.
So she fell asleep and missed almost all the ending of it. So we're going to watch it again.
Okay.
Another movie that I watched again was A Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks.
Okay.
And I'm telling you guys right now, this, my God, Tom Hanks, how old is he? He's in his 60s.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how many movies he's made, 40, 45 movies, something like that.
He's made Splash.
He still has got it.
Now you start using your head. That's that lump that's 3 feet above your ass.
I mean, he is still the man. And I saw the previews for this, and it just looked like a grumpy old man. Looked kind of like About Schmidt with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Also a great movie.
That's a good movie.
So the Tom Hanks movie is amazing. I can't recommend it enough. So whatever you're doing after this podcast, go watch A Man Called Otto. It's on the Netflix.
So I need to see A Man Named Otto.
A Man Named Otto.
Andrew really wants to see Oppenheimer, which I really want to see.
It's the new Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
Why hasn't he won an Academy Award?
So there's like scenes from it. They've shown like pictures, I guess, Albert Einstein and different people in it. And so they tweeted out and made a little meme saying this is like the Avengers for scientists, which cracked me up.
That's right. Well, the Avengers is full of scientists.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Well, except for Captain America.
That's true.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Universal One Jumbo Color-Coded Paper Clips. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I'm nothing if not organized. You can ask anybody, especially my wife. Whenever I do paperwork, I'm a stickler for keeping my together. That's why I use Universal One Jumbo Color-Coded Paper Clips. Let's face it, staples are barbaric, so I always use paper clips. Universal One paper clips are made from vinyl-coated wire, and they have a smooth finish to help make your paperwork filing a more pleasant experience. And they come in a variety of fun colors. So be the hit of your office and buy a case of Universal One Jumbo color-coded paper clips. They come 250 to a pack, so you can file your important documents and make a festive rainbow-colored paperclip necklace. Back to you guys in the studio.
Jacob graduated high school.
He did.
Congratulations to Jacob. Thank you.
Has he moved out yet?
That's the New Year's Eve.
Okay, well, same thing. You can use it for all kinds of things. Have you kicked him out of the house yet?
No.
Okay.
He's going to the University of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He's going to the Blue Ash campus. He's going to live at home.
Okay.
For the first year.
The Blue Ash campus?
It's in Blue Ash. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he's going to UC and he's excited. And I'll tell you what, he worked really, really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always doing homework, and he threw that on top of marching band, and he threw that on top of his part-time job. So we're very proud of him.
Yeah. And skateboarding accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got.
So I'm going to take this opportunity because it doesn't mean anything when you say it, because you were legally required to talk about how awesome your family is.
I am.
I want to point out how nice and well-adjusted and you have wonderful children.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the greatest compliment anybody can pay me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do a good job. I think you and Libby do a very good job in parenting them. And I'm saying
we try.
I'm saying this from the standpoint of you encourage them. And they have interests that go off in this thing, and then you encourage them to continue in that path.
Yeah.
I have been...
You keep your foot on their neck. And you're like, you are not. Sit down and shut up.
No, when I grew up, and now I'm not saying people are going to listen to say, oh, Mike's parents were horrible to him. They weren't. Right. This is not about my parents.
Right.
The area that I grew up in, I watched some of my friends and some people that I grew up with. It seemed like they were stifled and pushed in a certain direction.
Right.
And I've always kind of kept that in and thought, I'm not going to do that with my kids.
Right.
And if I see somebody doing that with their kids, I'm going to say something. Like I'm going to point out, hey, I'm not going to be a penis about it. I'm not going to, stop and just start yelling at somebody. But I'm going to say, hey, your kid's into whatever.
Let him
baklava. Let him have it. Let him have an extra helping. So.
He actually got a baklava scholarship. Yeah.
But I think part of it is a generational thing. It's probably the same where you grew up. You probably had a lot of, well, you're going to do this and you're going to follow along in these footsteps. You're going to follow along. Maybe not.
Right.
It's kind of how it was in the area that I was. And Bess and I have made sure that we encourage. By the way, because we have no sports abilities whatsoever. So years ago, if somebody would have said, you're going to push your kids into sports, I'd be like, I don't even know how to spell sports.
Yeah. Well, I'm one generation away from a family who it was very common for the parents to have lots of kids, so the kids would stay and work the farm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, my dad had 7 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So, they kind of thought that when they, grew up, that they would do that. And they had a lot of farms and stuff. I've got an uncle who raised tobacco, and then another uncle who had some cattle.
And you had the one that did the Coke beans, and you guys,
and we're not supposed to talk about that on the podcast because of legal reasons.
Yeah. But I think the statute of limitations has passed.
Oh, yeah.
And there were no video cameras around at that time.
No. Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you for what you said about Jacob.
Yes.
He worked very, very hard.
Yeah.
So we had an irritable dad syndrome moment at graduation.
Okay.
So there were so many students graduated, 600 some students graduated.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. And as many parents, family members wanted to come could.
Like 5 graduated from my high school.
So, I think I remember when I graduated, I sat next to this guy named Philip Curtis, great guy.
Okay.
And I knew him, he knew me, and we're sitting there and we're watching people cross the stage, and we're constantly going, have you ever seen him? Nope. Her? Her? Oh, I know her. Yeah. I know her. We were, and we thought that was huge, 200 some kids. So all the students march in to da 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 da.
Oh, that's the one I was trying to do. Da 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 da.
Yeah. That's the song.
Dun, 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 dun,
and cut. Yeah. It went on forever, like forever. They're all sitting there, and then the speeches start. Like the principal talks, and then the superintendent of schools talks, and something else.
Blah blah blah.
They get to the salutatorian and the valedictorian. Okay. The salutatorian's up there talking, doing his speech. I think he was the salutatorian.
Okay.
There were 3 or 4 students who spoke.
Okay.
One of them's up there talking and follow your dreams and always know that your friends are there for you and thanks to the mom and dads. And it sounds like he's done.
Yeah.
The principal stands up and starts walking towards him, and the kid says, "And remember," starts talking some more, and the principal just whoop and sits back down. Everybody starts laughing.
Yeah.
And so this kid is like, "What happened?" And Libby and Cameron looked at me and go, "Hey, what happened?"
Hey, what happened?
It was the biggest laugh of the night. And kudos to this kid because, kids don't know how to make public speeches.
No.
That all of them were nervous as could possibly be, and they did a lot of really, really good jobs speaking. Unlike me right here, right now. It didn't shake him, okay?
Yeah.
He just, what happened? Got a big laugh. He finished his speech. And then the principal goes up there and just shakes it off and goes, "Yeah, sorry about that, Tony." Big laugh.
Yeah.
And they moved on. But yeah, that was our irritable dad syndrome moment from graduation. And congratulations to the 2023 class at Lakota West High School. You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jacob, we're having a party for him.
Yeah.
All our you guys, you and Bess are coming.
Yeah.
And so we're planning this party, okay, at our house. And Libby and I, we're busy, okay?
Yeah.
Libby and I have a lot of things going on.
You got to get the coke.
We got to get
the...
God, would you stop talking about cocaine?
You can edit
that out, yeah. No, it's like I've got my job, and then I've got the podcast, and then occasionally I play with my band, and then you've got the podcast, you've got your job, and so everybody's got stuff going on. Libby's got her church activities.
I've got to grind my camos.
Yes, you do.
It's very important.
We're trying to plan this party, and so we're looking at Libby's calendar, we're looking at my calendar, we're looking at Jacob's calendar, and is this day fine? Because we couldn't do this day because of something Jacob had. We couldn't do this day because something Libby had. We couldn't do this day because I'm going to be in Chicago. So let's. We finally find a day we can do it. It was a Saturday, and fantastic. We sent out all the invitations.
Yeah.
We get almost everybody RSVP'd, and then we realized Cameron has an event on Saturday and can't make it to the party. Well, poor Cameron.
Yeah.
We're so focused on Jacob's calendar, my calendar, and Libby's calendar that nobody thought to ask Cameron.
Yeah.
Because he's still in marching band.
Yeah.
He's got a marching band event that Saturday. So we had to move it to Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're old and we're crazy.
Yeah. Well, I was going to tell you, Andrew has to work.
Right.
I don't know if you can move it again.
He can come after we after we close up.
So I got to tell you a little bit about this conversation that we had with Andrew. We told, he literally had to work the hours of the party, like starting when the party starts and end when the party ends.
Okay.
So Bess and I talked to him. It's like, well, can you talk to your boss?
Save him a piece of cake.
No.
Okay.
I don't save cake.
Oh.
I eat cake. Start the part or start work. Ask your boss if you can start work an hour later or a half hour later, and then you stay half hour, an hour. And he said, well, so then I'll just be at the beginning of the party. Yeah. He's like, well, why can't I do it earlier and then I'll be at the end of the party? And we're like, no. You don't want to be at the end of the party.
Right.
You don't want to be the guy that shows up at the end because here's the deal.
All the chips are gone.
So I don't know what time the party ends because I don't know these things. What is it, like 8?
4 to 8.
8. Okay. So
but you guys know you can stay later than 8.
In my world, Darin.
Yeah. If
the party's from 4 to 8 and I'm hosting it, I'm thinking maybe people will start leaving at about 7:30 and about 8:05 I'll be down here grinding my camos.
You're anxious for everybody to get the hell out.
The last thing that I want anybody doing is walking in and getting cake at the end of the party when everybody's already done being nice to each other. And now it's where you're supposed to just go, well, we got feed the hogs in the morning or whatever it is. I gotta head out. You don't want some chucklehead showing up then.
Right.
So we're trying to explain that to him, that's kind of how that works. You want to come early. You don't want to be like super early.
He can come anytime he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew, if you're listening to this, you can't. You've got to come later, with us at the beginning.
We ordered a Costco cake.
Uh-huh.
We're not members of Costco. Okay.
Is it expensive when you do it that way?
It's $25.
Really?
For a giant cake.
Those are big cakes.
They're giant.
Yeah.
They're not big, they're giant.
Yeah. They're like that.
They're enormous.
Did you write anything on it? Like,
well,
happy anniversary or something to mess with him?
So, congratulations on your circumcision.
Bar mitzvah or whatever.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. So over the weekend, my brother-in-law and his wife and their little boy, Ryan, came. And then my sister-in-law, Peggy. And since we had to move the party, Larry and Debbie, our good friends, weren't able to make it to the new date. Yeah. And we told them, I says, why don't you come and cook out with us? And so they came, and so we're like, we're going to have a small party, then we're going to have another party.
Yeah.
So we ordered a cake from Costco.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a Costco member, but my neighbor, Chris Michael, is.
Oh, okay.
So he ordered it for me, and usually when he does this, he goes and picks it up. He wasn't able to pick it up, so he says, tell you what, here's my stuff, here's my card and my thing.
So you're impersonating
I'm going to impersonate Chris Michael. This is entirely illegal.
A whole level of patronage that we don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like out the door, crazy, illegal.
Yeah.
Okay, I could be in.
You could have been shot.
I could be in Guantanamo Bay right now.
They've got snipers.
Had they caught me.
At the top of the.
My brother-in-law Eddie and I, we drive out to Costco to get the cake.
You made him go in and get it.
I kind of, maybe, sort of, with a hat and glasses, look like I could pass for Chris Michael.
Okay.
Eddie, he ain't passing for Chris Michael.
Yeah.
We're driving to Costco, and he takes a right. He takes the wrong right.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to get back on the interstate.
Yeah.
So he's got his Jeep. What does he do? He drives over the concrete median.
There you go.
Cocoon.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
doesn't look suspicious at all.
No, not at all. No. He pulls into the Costco. We walk in. And the whole time we're in there, he goes, so, Chris Michael, what else are we picking up today besides the cake? Gee, Chris Michael, do you guys need to get any cargo shorts?
Hey, Chris Michael of 332 Eagle Lane, Liberty Township, Westchester, Arkansas.
There's nobody in the bakery when we got there, and we finally found an employee, and he walks up and says, my buddy Chris Michael and I were wondering if somebody could get a cake for us.
Okay.
Gets the cake. We go up. Nobody looked at the ID.
No.
Nobody
cares.
I swear to God,
don't care.
I felt like I'm like buying beer for a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Nobody. So at the Y, we go to the Liberty Y, the East Butler Y over here.
Yeah, I used to go to that one.
You're not allowed to go into the weight area, not even into where the free weights are.
Right.
If you're under 15.
By the way, they say they're free weights. Try taking them out of the place.
Right. That's right. And even once you're past 15, you have to take like a class, which class in major quotation marks. It's basically a teenager walks around and says, that's the machine you do legs.
This is where you do your setups.
And there's where your arms go. And your face goes here. That.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. So we went in there, and Andrew, I was just having him come through, whatever, like come into the weight room with me. Pre-15.
Ooh.
And so you're supposed to have an armband, like a little wristband when you do that.
See, you're doing the illegal too.
I was.
Okay.
This is in the past.
Oh.
And we learned which ones would ask and which ones won't. So let me make it a little nicer. 89% of
that is nicer.
Of the employees did not care. But there was one eagle-eyed employee who would look at him, and the eyebrows would you get the old hairy eyeball. He'd stare at him. And he'd say, are you 15? And I, the supportive dad, would say, oh, you got busted, bruh. And I would step away from Andrew and point at him and say, I don't even know who this kid is.
Yeah.
He just comes in.
Yeah.
He follows me in here. So Andrew got pushed out into the basketball area. He was not allowed to be in the free weight thing. And then after Andrew...
You didn't lie and tell him that he was 15?
No. And then after Andrew was 15, well, they look him up. I mean, he's got a membership. It tells their age right there.
Oh, okay. And then you get...
And then I get in major trouble. So I did everything I could.
What's that called when you lied under oath?
Perjury.
Perjury, yeah.
You don't want to commit perjury in the Y.
No.
So
we put the Y in.
He went off to the basketballs. So after Andrew turned 15, yeah. After Andrew turned 15, this is gonna be one of those I listen to later.
I'm cracking myself up tonight.
After he turned 15,
it's the antibiotics.
The guy would like stare at him the first couple times we came in,
like, ooh.
And then Andrew went over and he's like, "Are you 15?" And Andrew would be like, "Yep." And they looked up. They took the class.
Yeah.
Class.
Please.
He was supposed to take a follow-up class, but I told Andrew, I was like, "You're not doing the follow-up class because what are you going to do? Go back to the machine?" And then the guy says, "What's that for?" And then you say, "Legs."
You put your face in that.
Put your face in that. It's been a good run.
Speaking of illegal stuff, my buddy Larry was over at the house the other day. We were talking about back when we first started hanging out. So Larry and I used to work together at WCPO Channel 9. He used to do the weather there.
Yep.
And we were going to go to a matinee after we both got out of work.
Okay.
And I'd never been to the movies with Larry before. Yeah. I sneak in food to the movie. Okay. I just do. And you can't stop me. I don't care if the sign says no outside food or drink.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in my food. I just am. Yeah. I'm not paying $8 for a Coke.
So where do you put it?
In my jacket pocket.
Okay.
In my pants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Libby's with me, she has her big purse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Larry and I had never been to the movie before. And we go up there and he gets his ticket. And then, I'm putting stuff in my pocket. And he's like, "What are you putting in your pocket?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Shut up, Larry." He's like, "Is that food in your pocket?" I'm like, "Larry,
just piss you off when somebody's not on the same level of crime that you're on."
Yeah. He goes, "Do you have like candy in your pocket?" Yeah. "Yes, I have candy
He's
in my
about
pocket."
to do a citizen's arrest.
Yeah, I know. He's about to go Barney Fife. I'm like, would you shut up?
Yeah.
So I took my Mountain Dew and my M&Ms. I'll buy the popcorn. Okay, at the theater.
It's hard to beat the theater popcorn.
It is. But then I eat 2 M&Ms and then a handful of popcorn. Yeah. I eat my popcorn and my M&Ms at the same time.
Yeah, so you're basically...
Yeah. And so anyway, so he was having a big old time making fun of me and my illegalness doing that. He told his wife about it. She says, "Oh, that's a great idea."
Yeah.
And now she sneaks in food all the time.
So here's what I want to do. I want to bring in mashed potatoes in a plastic bag. Like turkey in another plastic bag, some gravy, get a plate. Bess can put a plate in her bag. Come in there, have like a full Thanksgiving dinner right there.
What is your favorite song about a car wash? Tell us now at irritabledadsyndrome.com.
But we watched the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we never got to that.
No, we didn't.
So how'd you like it? Did you like it?
I did like
the
it.
parts that you've seen.
Yeah. It's like I dozed off a few times at the beginning, but I didn't miss anything integral to the plot.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay, so there's some key moments that I want to throw out at you to see if you've seen them.
Yeah. Spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert for Dungeons and Dragons. Did you see the part where he was trying to fool the guards by being the bard and singing and his face starts to melt?
Yes.
And the sound? Okay.
Yes, that was funny.
Did you see the fat dragon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The goody two-shoes paladin that would not do anything wrong at all, ever. The guy with the sword?
I don't think I saw that.
Okay.
I think I dozed off during that.
Okay. Well, he's with them at the dragon.
Okay.
So he's one of the party members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chris Pine is great.
I love Chris Pine. Yeah. He's because I'm assuming you've seen like the new Star Trek movies.
No.
You
know what?
Yeah.
I'm not a Trekkie.
Okay. You don't need to be.
But I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I was really, really vehemently, extremely strongly against them remaking Star Trek, even though I'm not a major.
It's not a remake.
I understand.
Yeah.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
You're arguing with me. You haven't seen it. It's not a remake.
It's Star Trek with new people in it.
Yeah.
So it's a remake.
No.
Yes,
it's an alternate timeline because the original Star Trek members are in it too.
It's a remake.
It's not. Okay.
Does he play Kirk?
Yeah.
And does he play Spock?
Yeah. There's multiple Spocks.
Okay.
Original Spock and
okay. So
Spock.
they did a Spider-Man alternate universe thing.
Okay. So Spider-Man's not the only alternate universe. You're not allowed to like every time there's an alternate universe go back to Spider-Man.
I'm allowed to throw something out there that I understand. This is my brain, Mike.
but it's not a remake.
Stop for a second.
Yeah.
Which alternate universe do you prefer that I use as an example next time?
Just walk with me in the alternate universe that I'm in.
Is there a Hill Street Blues alternate universe?
No. Okay. There should be.
Well, okay.
So it's okay. How do I say it?
Like Batman?
If you
like
need
the Flash?
you need to have seen the original series for the new one to make sense.
Okay.
For you to get all of it.
Okay.
You don't have to. It'd be like someone watching Infinity War and Endgame by themselves. They could understand the story, but it's not as nice. It's not as good as if you watched all the movies leading up to it.
Right.
Yeah. So there's intertwinements and things happening.
Okay.
There's in the original Spock did this, and this one Spock does that, and that's Leonard Nimoy. That's actually Spock, and he's meeting new Spock, and new Captain Kirk is meeting. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not a. I know what you're saying. It's not a remake.
Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
I would like to apologize.
My point was before we went down that route.
I was seriously like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
They're seriously going to remake Star Trek?
No, they didn't make it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's awesome.
Okay.
And
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. So the cool thing that they did do is there's a lot of humor in it, but it's like
fart jokes.
Hey. Time for a few fart jokes.
No. It's humor like
them Vulcans love to fart.
If you watch the original series, the original movies, there was a lot of humor in those too.
There was?
Yeah.
The first one.
The fourth one was practically a comedy.
That's true. Was that where they went on Earth and Spock had to have the earmuffs to cover up his points?
Yeah. So, okay, I get it. You're not a Trekkie. My point is that you could see Chris Pine's ability to be a comedic actor.
Right.
It's kind of like John Hamm. If you only saw John Hamm in serious movies and then you see him be funny, you're like, I didn't know he could do. I didn't know.
Oh my God. When John Hamm was on 30 Rock.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
The dude is hilarious.
He's hysterical.
So, and it's the same thing, in my opinion, with Chris Pine.
Yeah.
When I've watched Star Trek, I was like, he could do something hilarious. He could be funny as a dog.
Yeah.
And then they put him in the Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that Chris Pine was in it, I was like, this is going to be a comedy. This is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a long way to get there. We had our first Star Trek fight.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's good.
I remember because my grandpa Bill loved watching Star Trek. He lived in Lafayette.
Okay.
Whenever we would go visit him, that's usually like the only time we would watch it. So we went to visit him one time, and we walked in, and Star Trek was coming right on.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Darin? It's not really crazy.
Yeah,
it just happened to be what time it came on.
Yeah.
So he's watching, and the episode was The Trouble with Tribbles. The tribbles are those things that live on the ceiling.
The hamsters things.
And
they multiply.
They look like, I don't know, they're round, they're circular.
They're tennis balls with fur on them.
They're like kind of sucky, right?
Hello.
Okay.
And then they fall, and then they stick to you or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they kept multiplying and getting in the ship's engines, and they were going to destroy the ship.
So that was the episode that we saw.
Yeah.
Okay, The Trouble with Tribbles.
Okay.
And then he was telling us about it. He goes, those are tribbles. So we're like, okay. My brother and I, we had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So, we spent the weekend or however long at Ann and Bill's house. We went home. I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, we go back to Lafayette to visit Nana and Bill again.
Yeah.
We walk in the house, and a little bit later, Bill's like, oh, Star Trek's on. He turns it on, same episode.
Yeah.
The same episode. The Trouble with Tribbles.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the original series, outside of clips, the only entire episode I've seen is that one twice.
But you've seen the movies.
Yes.
The original movies. Yeah.
I really enjoy
the motion picture. It goes for like a half hour of floating through space with music before anything
Star
happens.
Trek, the motion picture was boring as hell.
I loved it.
Yeah. Well, I was a kid. I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah.
2, The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Okay, I like The Wrath of Khan.
Fun fact, you need to watch Wrath of Khan to recognize a joke in Seinfeld.
One of the greatest moments in my life, honestly. Grandpa Bill took me and my brother to the drive-in, and we watched Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan at the drive-in.
Yeah.
And after the movie was over with, getting ready to leave, and Bill's like, wait, hold on a second. Usually they show another movie.
Yeah.
What was the second movie? Airplane. Airplane. My grandpa was laughing so hard that the car was shaking, okay? And Bill, God love him, my grandpa Bill, I love the man. I admire the hell out of him. If I could be half the man he is when I grow up, that would be amazing. He bought us all the root beer we wanted, all the popcorn we wanted. And me and my brother and my grandpa, and he's just crying, laughing at Airplane. And the car was shaking. And it was great.
I had a moment when I was visiting one of my... I went to one of my friends. He took me to his grandparents' house. It was like they were having a trip, and it's like, bring Mike along. So we went to his grandparents' house. I don't want to name him. I don't want to embarrass anybody.
Okay. Steve.
And this is back in the 80s.
Okay.
And I remember we went into the living room, and there's all these like older, and it was grandpa and uncle, all these, and they're all sitting around watching Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Nice.
So we sat down and as kids, we're like, this is awesome. We're getting to see this movie that, we're totally not allowed to see. So you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
We watched the whole thing all the way up until there's one part, and everybody's being quiet. There's one part where you see Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, is holding a machine gun and with one arm, and he's just mowing down the enemy.
Yeah. He's got the headband on.
And then from the corner of the room, that's bold. I look over, and it's, one of them. I don't know who it was. He said, "You can't fire an M60 with one arm like that." Now, as a kid, I knew that this was a ridiculous conversation.
Right.
As an adult, I want to go back and find this man and say, you made it up to that point in the movie. That's the point.
That's the breaking point.
There's where they crossed over to ridiculousness. Rambo, First Blood Part 2. He got hung up in the jet engine, cut himself loose with a knife. He had nothing.
Right.
He happened to run into the lady that he was supposed to meet, even though he landed in the wrong spot. They happened to find the boat. They happened to have a rocket launcher on the boat to shoot the other boat.
He single-handedly kills
all these things.
97
all
people.
Of them. There's a part of the movie where there's literally like 50 people lined up with machine guns, all shooting at him, and he's going like pop, 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 one shot each, destroying them.
He doesn't get hit once.
He's going up a mountain with POWs. They're all shooting automatic weapons at him. Nobody hits him.
Yeah.
Or the POWs. One of them gets hit in the leg. But the part where he stands up with one arm of the machine gun, there's the bull.
Yeah.
That's the point where you just check out. Drove me nuts.
Remember Jason versus Freddy?
Yeah,
and
I haven't
Alien
seen
versus Predator?
Yeah, I haven't seen
I always
either
thought
of those.
they need to have Rambo versus Commando.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They should.
Just see what one of them.
What's going to happen?
Because it's like, you got the immovable object and the unstoppable force. The hell?
Well, I will say this. I know you're not a gamer. The latest Mortal Kombat 11, characters you can be Rambo and you can be the Terminator. So there have been people that have had that little head-to-head that way. But yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me...
That's bold.
That's...
And I love that he said that with all the kids in the house, too.
Well, they're watching Rambo with all the kids. Who cares at that point? But I remember there was a lot of that when I was growing up, of going to the movies, and somebody would have to point out, if you go to the movies with the wrong person, they just can't they can't suspend their disbelief.
Right.
Now, there's one part where it's like you're watching Indiana Jones and Crystal Skull swinging on vines that are appearing. The Jeep is driving itself, and he lands back in the seat. Yeah. That's the point at which you or I would say, that's bull.
Yeah.
But come on. Part of the reason you're going to see a movie is to see some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if that type of movie, especially action or anything like that, I don't want everything to be believable. I don't, there's a time and a place for that. There's the Christopher Nolan Batman where you can say, okay, each one of these, this is how you could actually do it.
Yeah.
But then you also have the Avengers where you're like, I don't give a shit. Turn green,
kick ass.
And kick ass.
Yeah.
Hulk, smash.
Yeah.
And you can't evacuate the city that fast. They're killing all these people in these buildings. Good. Make a director's cut where you see blood splatter out the windows every time Hulk runs into a building. I don't want to, piss off with your bull. You're going to complain about that, but then you're fine with the guy with the big purple hand snapping his fingers and half the universe dies. We'd like to thank you for listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome. If you like what we do, or even if you don't, go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. Listen to all our previous episodes. We've got a Patreon with all kinds of bonus stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, a lot of bonus stuff.
We've got a lot of bonus stuff.
So if you look at our list of episodes, there's one called the Patreon one, and there's a little sampling of it. But there's hours and hours of stuff. Please, if you like what we do, please support us, help us to do it. We would not be able to do this without our patrons.
That's true.
So we do appreciate them.
And I do want to mention that over the past couple months, we've gotten some famous guests on the show.
We have.
If you're new to the show, go back in the episode. We had Shadow Stevens on the show.
Yeah.
He was incredible. Yeah. And then a few weeks before that, we had Haywood Banks.
Yeah. If you are new to the show and you're famous, and I'm going to use that term relatively famous, if more than 3 people know who you are,
we'd love to
contact us. We'd love to have you as a guest.
Yeah.
Go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. You can email us on there. You can sign up to be a guest. All these fun things.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time
on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Is it just me, or is this show getting more and more stupid? Yeah, whatever.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
can we turn off that damn beeping?
That's on the phone. That's on my phone.
Okay, can you turn that off?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you turn off that damn beeping? Should be the title of this episode.
For the love of God and your own body, halt the damn hammering, please.